of Warren Academy, and I'm a member of the Finding North Network, which is why I'm here being an MC for today and yesterday. This is day 2, session 1. So we've got 2 speakers in the first session and another 2 and another third session as well in our second session. So welcome everybody. Oh, we've got lots of people signing in Melbourne as well. Hello everyone. Because yesterday we started off straight away with a wonderful acknowledgement to country from John Shearer and a beautiful yarn. We don't have another big yarn from John this morning, so I'm going to kick off with my acknowledgement to country to set us off for day 2. I'm over in WA, and the land that I'm zooming in from is the land of the Whadjuk Noongar Nation. So I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present, future and emerging, and be mindful of the land's spirits, waters from the land that I'm lucky enough to call home. And I'd also like to acknowledge the far-reaching impacts of intergenerational trauma and colonisation, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. This is and always will be Aboriginal land. And excuse me, so I would like us all to be mindful of wherever we're on, be mindful of the lands that we're all zooming in from. I'd also like to really recognise all the lived experience that we've brought into this virtual space. We all have a lot of wisdom, expertise, knowledge, experiences, insights, and we bring a wealth of contribution to our families, our environments, our workplaces, our communities. It should be deeply valued, and I think that we've created a really, really wonderful space yesterday, and I'm sure it's going to be another wonderful space today. So I really wanted to recognise everyone of lived and living experience, and also spend a moment to remember our peers who aren't here for all sorts of reasons, and to always be mindful when we come into these spaces of the people that are obstructed from doing so. And there are people of lived experience who would very much love to be here, that might have access issues, and whether that is systemic, they're currently incarcerated or under the Act, or simply have lots of issues that we may feel quite unjust that they can't come to these tables. And some of those voices and those knowledges and that wisdom are incredibly valuable. And so we hold in mind what they might bring and what they might say if they were here with us too. So with those acknowledgements in mind and recognizing who we are and why we're here, I'd love to just do a little recap of yesterday. We had the fantastic Faye and Tony and John. We had our panel members as well, Laura and Richard. We had beautiful speakers, another Laura, and we had, excuse me, can't probably go through all of the names because despite what it might look like, I'm always very nervous when I do these things, but every single speaker that we've heard from yesterday gave us some real insight and really came to intimately share with us, to intellectually share with us, to socially share with us. And I think that it was a really, really valuable space. We had a few technical difficulties yesterday in a couple of the sessions, so I would like to remind everybody it was the first time the Finding North Network have done a pretty giant Zoom event. We have 2 teams of 4 people working back to back across sessions, and backstage is quite complicated, lots of virtual rooms open, chat boxes open, and checks running all the time. So if anybody had difficulty getting into sessions yesterday, those are things that we're always bearing in mind, always trying to mitigate. So team are working as hard as possible. So you do sometimes get technical glitches, and yes, we're very, very mindful of how difficult it is, not just at their end and at our end, for people coming in. So maybe one tip for people as well would be you might need to refresh your lobby sometimes. So I hope everybody moves into their sessions really easily today. So we do apologise if anyone felt they were getting hit by a glitch there. We're working on it all the time. It is enormously difficult to manage a space like this. So anyway, I hope that we're going to enjoy today and get as much value out of it as we did from our speakers yesterday. So a few reminders before we move into our first session. Same as yesterday, you'll see throughout the day in the chat box there will be help and support line numbers. If anyone feels really very challenged, very uncomfortable, and needs some support throughout today, those numbers will be made available to you continuously through the chat. And also reminders for self-care. I kept reminding everybody yesterday, just always do what you need to do for yourself to be comfortable and feel as balanced and as comfortable as you can, because some things are challenging and they can be when we don't expect them to be. So self-care, we really encourage that. And I can see some numbers coming up in the chat box now. So there you go, there's examples, they'll come up continuously. And also still today, always encouraging of those conversations. So if you do want to connect, make a comment, you have a thought, a feeling, you want to connect or agree with the speaker, or use emojis if that's your preference, because we love emojis. Yeah, please feel free to use the chat and have those really valuable conversations and comments. And a phrase that I often use in some of my working circles that we use is lean into discomfort. And I think we've used for Finding North for Perspective 22, a phrase that I think I'm beginning to love even more: hang out in uncertainty. So if you're happy to hang out in uncertainty, and you can use that mindset to, yeah, really, as John was saying yesterday, part of my recap is not to listen with our ears. You know, don't just listen with your ears. We can listen sort of with our thoughts, you know, and listening beyond our thoughts. I thought that was beautiful, what John said yesterday. Listening beyond your thoughts, and don't just listen with your ears. So I am going to probably not sit here and just give you minutes and minutes and minutes of reminders. Just wanted to do those quick 3. So we only have a couple of minutes left. So our next session is going to be starting shortly. And when you're in the lobby, you'll just join into your next session. And we will be there to hear from Anna, Anne Cheapers. She's going to give a wonderful, wonderful presentation, and I'll do a little intro for Anne when we get in there. So get comfortable. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next session.